Hello Cavers. So of course I did a drawing about my favorite power-ups in general. They're not my favorite Mario Bros power-ups, they're just my favorite power-ups in general. You may notice as I continue drawing though that one of them is more an item than a power-up, because what I count as a power-up, and one of my favorite YouTubers also said this, is that it's something that like actually attaches to you and changes what you look and do, rather than it being something that you use. So as you can tell there, that propeller doesn't really count as the power-up. Also, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner is the block, and you might be like, oh, is that the normal brown block that you can break? No, it's not. That is the coin block that you get that attaches to your head in New Super Mario Bros. 2. So what happens is when that appears, you can jump up into it and it attaches to your head, and then when you run you get loads of coins and it helps you to get 1-ups. So I put that there, and then you'll see that I actually took it away. This was really difficult to do because I've realized sometimes doing simpler things is actually more difficult, because what it means is that when it's slightly off, it's easier to tell because it's so simple, if you get what I mean. So some of these looked a bit off kind of, but I managed to like style it out by adding the neon bits to it, and well, that's the main thing I did. There's no triangles in this because the things are too small. If it was one big power-up, I'd add the triangles to it. So this is one of the first things without any triangles, which kind of threw me off a little bit, but it still works. So here's my favorite Mario power-ups / items. More than anything, you know, I'm just surprised I got that to that to that and then to this end result, you know. But anyways, let me get into the tier list that I promised. So for those of you who aren't already aware, there's actually 4 main games in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Technically it's 5, because one of them can technically be split into 2. But anyways, we started off with New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, which released in 2006. Then 3 years later, we had New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which was 2009. Then we had New Super Mario Bros. 2, which was mainly for the 3DS, which came out in 2012. And then we had New Super Mario Bros. U and U Deluxe. And U was, I believe, 2014, 2015 maybe. And then U Deluxe, which had New Super Mario Bros. Luigi U with it, basically, was 2019. So you can kind of see why it could be 5, but it's technically 4. But I've put it down as 4 because the power-ups are the same. It's more the mechanics that are different. So, you know, in this context, it's actually 4. But when you look into it, it's 5. So yeah. So of course I've mentioned the consoles that the rest came out on. So one came out on DS, one was for 2DS and 3DS, one was for the Wii, and then the U Deluxe, you know, the U comes from Wii U, so it first released on there. However, I don't actually have a Wii U. I've been playing it on my Switch Lite, so that game is for the Switch Lite, the Switch, and the U, which I find very cool. So of course, as you can tell, I actually did have the other 3 consoles, so I've happened to own, you know, the 4 that you'd need to play the 4 games, 5 technically, you know, if you want to go there, and just have been around these ones the most. Shouldn't be too surprising, seeing as these are amongst, you know, the best sellers for each of their respective consoles. So I just kind of wanted to dip my toes into this series in particular. Of course, I'll branch out into the rest of the, you know, the Mario universe soon. There's plenty of videos to be made. Also, since I've been so into U Deluxe recently, you know, now's the time to do this sort of thing. From, you know, jogging my memory and conducting a little bit of research, I believe there's 15 total power-ups across these 4 main games, and, you know, I'm here to put them into a tier list, so that I shall do. So here we've got a tier list. We've got 5 tiers. We've got A1, means best power-ups, the ones that I purposely look for. We've got pretty dope, which means still pretty cool, a bit, you know, stinky, like 1 out of 10 times. We've got not too bad, means it's there, you know, it's kind of cool, I'll pick it up. We've got kind of annoying, gets in the way a little bit. And then we've got I avoid this, which means I don't like it. I don't think anything will be in the I avoid this. By the way, if there's noise, it's because the kiddies are playing outside, but they're very loud, which is a bit annoying. They keep shouting all of a sudden. It's always when I want to record, people shout. I make stupid noises. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's get into it. So, first of all, we have the blue shell. Not the one from Mario Kart, it's just the one that you get in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and they've never brought it back since, which is really weird. The closest thing you'll get is obviously the spiny shell in Mario Kart when you're in first place, the nightmare one, as I like to call it, and then also when you are in the hammer suit, or when you throw a boomerang if you have a blue shell. But you know, they haven't brought it back. Obviously, A1, without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's so cool. Just the way you can run and hit everything. And most people say if you're running too fast, you'll just hit the wall. Understandable, but to me, A1. We have Fire Flower. You know what though? I think the mechanic, you know, when you can shake something or make yourself spin, because on the Nintendo Switch Lite you can click the shoulder buttons and you can spin, and you can shoot a fireball either side. Really cool. However, in the first games, Fire Flower is a little bit annoying because you can't do that. You just shoot wherever you're facing. So I will say not too bad, because it's not too bad. The Gold Flower, however, is basically that, but wherever you shoot, you get coins out of it. So because I'm one of them rare people that really loves New Super Mario Bros. 2, because you get to collect loads of coins, I actually really like the Gold Flower. So I'm actually gonna say pretty dope, especially because it destroys almost anything and you get bare coins out of it. I find it fascinating. We have the Gold Mushroom. I also don't mind this. But it's like, it's kind of just not too bad. I don't really have an opinion about it. It's just kind of there. It's just like floating about. Also, notice how nicely I've like configured this and made this. Oh, how convenient. Now someone is buzzing to come in. So if there's loads of noise, I'm really sorry. It kind of adds to the feel of everything. Then we have the Fire Flower. No, sorry, the Ice Flower. I don't mind this. What I don't like though, and I've realised a lot, is when piranha plants come out of tunnels and you try and shoot them, you then can't jump over that tunnel if you're too low down. So I find it really annoying. Also, you have to pick up things or ground pound them to get rid of them. And also you can come out of the ice as well. Why is everyone making so much noise all of a sudden? This is very disruptive. Anyways, Ice Flower, kind of annoying. I'm gonna put it in kind of annoying. We have the Invincibility Leaf. So this is from New Super Mario Bros. 2, if I'm not wrong. And what happens is, basically you can go through anything. I think the only thing you can't let happen is falling through gaps and hitting lava, and also hitting poisonous water. But otherwise you can blast through anything, including bosses as well, and it keeps you flying for longer. The thing with New Super Mario Bros. 2 is I always told myself that this made the game too easy, so you kind of get this as a cop-out after a while if you suck at the game. So I would just be like, oh, there's no point because it makes it too easy, because there's minimal times when you can actually die. But I must say not too bad, because it's not too bad. It's actually very helpful. It just made the game too easy for me, so I had to avoid it after a while because I realised I could just breeze through the game, and that's not really what I wanted. I like taking the easy way out, but not all the time, you know. The Mega Mushroom. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. It's kind of just... It's because in the first game, the DS one, you could use it to get 1-ups, and I love that. I love that whole thing. I think it's really cool. However, I just find it kind of annoying to have around, especially because, like, it's just there. It feels like a gimmick. You're gonna hear a lot of noise, but focus on the tier list rather than anything else. But I'm gonna just say it's not too bad. It's kind of just there. So yeah. Then we have the Mini Mushroom, which I don't mind too much. I like that in the newer games, so U Deluxe, you can actually walk up walls to get into higher pipes. So there's this one level, a water level, where there is a pipe on top of like a water sprout geyser thing, and you can walk across the geyser up to the pipe at the top. It took a while to articulate that. I find that really cool. However, of course, you have to be extra careful because it's so much easier to die. But I am one of them weird people who really likes the Mini Mushrooms. So I'm gonna say pretty dope. Also because you can use it in the earlier games to defeat bosses, and when you defeat bosses with the Mini Mushroom, there's like a mini exit out towards a different world. So I think you get world 4 and world 7 using it, which I love it. I love that idea. Whoever came up with that is so cool. Like, you don't even realize it at first. You're like, why is there a tiny gap? And then you realize, you're like, oh my god, if you're mini you can fit in there. And then you go back and do it, and it's a great accomplishment. The PA Corn, this comes from U Deluxe, I'm pretty sure. When you defeat Nabbit, you can get him a lot. It's very useful because I've realized you can keep flying, and also musical notes come off it, and it's just really cute. I find it very endearing. It's been very useful sometimes, actually, like to get into pipes that I just suck at getting into, but if you can keep flying, you can get in. Very handy for high star coins, very, very handy. Also, if there's a star coin very low down and then there's minimal platform at the top, you can jump down and then keep flying up to the upper platform. Very useful. So I'm gonna say pretty dope. Not A1, but it's pretty dope. Then we have the penguin suit. Now the thing is with the penguin suit is it turns up in Wii, but it's also when the Firefly was there, and you're kind of like, why would you have both? And I'm one of them people that agrees. Why would you have both? Because the penguin suit is just the Firefly, but 10 times better. I do find it a little bit annoying because I'm not the biggest fan of ice levels, but for what it is, and the fact you can shoot ice balls and swim really, really well and glide across ice on your stomach, I find it pretty cool. So I'm going to say pretty dope, because even though it gets in the way a little bit, for what it is, really dope. We have the propeller mushroom. This is a tricky one because sometimes the weed doesn't respond to it. So like you'll shake, but it's late to respond, and this propeller mushroom sometimes has to save your ass. Like, it's make or break. Like, if you do this wrong, you've messed up the whole thing. So it's kind of difficult, especially like what I was saying with the PA Corn. If you're low down and need to get high up, you're really putting your life on this, and if it messes up, you've died. So I'm gonna say kind of annoying, because it really is sometimes. In the boss battle, I think it's the Wii one where you need to have it to get away from the massive Bowser, the auto scroller. Well, it's not really an auto scroller, but it kind of counts because it goes from one side to the other. Make or break. This power could really mess you up, so I am gonna say kind of annoying. Then we have the star. To be honest, it's not too bad. I'm gonna move it from now. It's not too bad. It could last a little bit longer, but I guess that's the whole like charm of it, is that it doesn't last very long. Also, I've only recently realized this after playing Mario games for so long. So on U Deluxe, when there's different enemies in each world, it's kind of like that on Wii as well. So you know, in the first world, when there's that square and there's the Goombas and you have to move the opposite way from them to get to a certain path, they have this in every world here. But if you press R, select the star power, and then try and get around them, you can straight away, which I find is so cool. So I only recently learned of this as well. So with the ghosts, because sometimes I don't pay attention, so I'm like staring at the platform in the soda jungle with the ghosts on U Deluxe, and I can never properly get past them more than 2 out of 3 times. So I always mess up. Well, most of the time I mess up, so which is kind of annoying. And then I realized you could do that and just blast through all of them and go to all the doors as quick as possible and get rid of all the ghosts. So cool. Whoever came up with this is dope. Then we have Super Acorn. I keep calling this Squirrel Power. And then the P1 Super Squirrel Power. I really love this power. I really do. Between the raccoon, so the leaves, and then the acorns, I prefer the acorns. I just think they're very cute. I think they're very, very, very cute. But it's not as good as the PA Corn, so I'm going to say it's not too bad. We have the Super Leaf, so just normal raccoon. I don't mind it. It is pretty cool. We've already spoken so much about the invincibility one, so I think I'm gonna also say not too bad. But if we was to like order each tier into how good each thing is, that would be at the front, and this would be more in the middle-ish, near the end, kind of. So if I do it like this, like in this tier, like how good I think each thing is, I'll do it like that, more or less. No, this goes way at the back. Don't even try it. Yeah, it'll be more like that. So that's kind of in the middle, but not quite, you know. Maybe, yeah, no, more or less. Then we have lastly the Super Mushroom. It makes you from normal to big. I do quite like this, but I also don't, because it's just very basic. It just stops you from getting hit, you know. you know, it has saved me a lot of times, because obviously once you get hit, you die if you don't get this. However, it's kind of just there. It's not annoying or anything, it's just there. So I'm gonna say not too bad. We've actually done our first tier list, and I made it myself, you know, did a little bit of editing. I did have to make a new Twitter account just for this though, which I wasn't a big fan of, but it is what it is. I had to do what I had to do. You know, at this point, why not, you know, just run through what's going through my mind. So obviously, as I said, I'd show you this. I was like, oh, okay, you know, we're gonna watch this again. I'd already seen the first 10 seconds because I thought they'd be quick credits for some reason. Then I realized this is gonna take a really long time. So I put it down. I started walking around my room. If you see any shadows, it's probably me pacing up and down my room. I was like, damn, these credits are long, like extra long. So then they start coming to a close, and I'm like, ah, good. And then the screen goes like that. So I start pressing buttons, start getting desperate. And then I realize that's actually all that they give you. Anyways, we've actually done a lot today. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching the video. It has 3 cool bits to it, which I'm surprised by. And I hope that I see you guys again next week. But remember, don't bet on it.